Welcome to your daily Mars weather bulletin, where we first check in on the surface rovers before diving into the three-sol forecast. Perseverance is at the active rover-site Jezero crater, where it drove 358.9 meters on Sol 1947 of the mission, bringing its total odometer to 44.97 kilometers. The climatological model estimates today's high temperature at minus 34 degrees, a low of minus 79 degrees, winds at 86 kilometers per hour, pressure at 7.7 millibars, and a dust optical depth of 1.25. Perseverance shares navcam imagery from Sol 1948 of the mission. Curiosity is at the active rover-site Gale crater, where it drove 14.4 meters on Sol 4977 of the mission, bringing its total odometer to 37.99 kilometers, though that update is already 7 days old. The climatological model estimates today's high temperature at minus 33 degrees, a low of minus 74 degrees, winds at 70 kilometers per hour, pressure at 9.1 millibars, and a dust optical depth of 0.68. Curiosity shares navcam imagery from Sol 4983 of the mission. Zhurong ended its mission at Utopia Planitia, where the last published traverse record puts it at 1.92 kilometers in total on Sol 347 of the mission, and no later movement has been reported. The climatological model estimates today's high temperature at minus 48 degrees, a low of minus 84 degrees, winds at 101 kilometers per hour, pressure at 9.1 millibars, and a dust optical depth of 1.29. InSight ended its mission at Elysium Planitia, where this is a stationary lander that never drove, so it has no traverse distance and no odometer at all. The climatological model estimates today's high temperature at minus 31 degrees, a low of minus 75 degrees, winds at 66 kilometers per hour, pressure at 7.8 millibars, and a dust optical depth of 0.82. On Sol 623, daytime highs average minus 33 degrees, with the warmest reading of minus 18 at Olympus Mons location. The sky is dominated by a dust storm, with dust optical depth peaking at 1.31 over Viking 1 location. Winds reach a peak of 139 kilometers per hour at Olympus Mons location. Overnight lows average minus 79 degrees, dropping to a coldest minus 96 at Olympus Mons location. Temperatures remain consistently frigid with slight warming trends and highs, while dust optical depth steadily increases across all sites, indicating intensifying atmospheric haze and wind activity. Surface pressure sits at 7.7 millibars at Viking 1 location, visibility drops to 3 kilometers at Viking 1 location, and water vapor measures 9.3 micrometers at Viking 1 location. The 5-sol trend shows a slight warming in daytime highs and a gradual increase in dust optical depth before stabilizing. We now turn to the crossings of Phobos and Deimos across the disk of Mars. Phobos makes its first crossing of the apparent disk of Mars, lasting 53 minutes, as the event occurs in Los Angeles between 5:32 in the morning and 6:25 in the morning, in New York between 8:32 in the morning and 9:25 in the morning, and in London between 1:32 in the afternoon and 2:25 in the afternoon, with Mars standing above the horizon in all three cities. The next Phobos crossing of the apparent disk of Mars takes 53 minutes, happening in Los Angeles between 1:12 in the afternoon and 2:05 in the afternoon, and in New York between 4:12 in the afternoon and 5:05 in the afternoon, while Mars is above the horizon there, whereas in London Mars is below the horizon. Phobos crosses the apparent disk of Mars for the third time this sequence, a passage that lasts 53 minutes, occurring in London between 4:51 in the morning and 5:44 in the morning with Mars above the horizon, while in Los Angeles and New York Mars is below the horizon. Deimos makes its first and only crossing of the apparent disk of Mars lasting 74 minutes, as the event unfolds in Los Angeles between 3:30 in the morning and 4:44 in the morning, in New York between 6:30 in the morning and 7:44 in the morning, and in London between 11:30 in the morning and 12:44 in the afternoon, with Mars standing above the horizon in all three locations. Phobos completes its fourth crossing of the apparent disk of Mars, a transit that lasts 30 minutes, taking place in Los Angeles between 4:31 in the morning and 5:01 in the morning, in New York between 7:31 in the morning and 8:01 in the morning, and in London between 12:31 in the afternoon and 1:01 in the afternoon, with Mars above the horizon in each city. Mars is currently in the constellation Gemini. For observers in New York, Mars rises at 2:02 in the morning and sets at 5:08 in the afternoon. Thank you for tuning in to Mars Weather. Stay safe on the Red Planet, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.